lock, some keys didn't. I'ma pick the lock, run free with them. Reminds me of the ones we lost, ones we didn't. Some keys fit the lock, some keys didn't. Tongues speak to wisdom, sun-bleached fiction. Wisdom didn't listen, unclean prison. Reminds me of the ones we lost, ones we didn't. Some keys fit the lock, some keys did.
Don't think too long about it or it won't be worth remembering. Then the things we cherish perish with the cold November brings. But who am I to tell you what you should and shouldn't? Why you could and couldn't? Thought you would but wouldn't walk the plank without the blindfold. Must have had your eyes closed, probably sleepwalking down the corridor. The time goes, high hopes, low brows, low blows, cold crowds. No doubt the sun shines the brightest for it's blown now.
Only sound, a voice inside your ears, counting down the seconds in the dark before you disappear. It isn't clear what you are or how you got here. Angry at the past and for the static his distraction. One should not fear anything. Empathy set me free. Less a devil's heckle for the hell of it. Let him be irrelevant. Don't believe in deficits. Learn to see the elephant standing in the shadow, redefining bright.
Now something isn't sitting right. When you hit the lights, those butterflies you kept in jars had suffocated in the night. Living like some distant light that knows to keep his distance, like he knows that he's been missing life. He holds the keys and gets the kites. Must have been the knife inside the back that kept you from the crowds and in the clouds and left you with 1,000 ways to split in town. Drinking down the hours, you hide away and cut you down with lookalikes and woolen eyes that like to look you up and down.
Some keys fit the lock, some keys didn't. I'ma pick the lock, run free with them. Reminds me of the ones we lost, ones we didn't.